So today we're going to take a look at a historical scene from the film All the Way. So All the Way is about the presidency of Lyndon Johnson, and as many of you know, he was known as perhaps the most successful negotiator when it came to getting legislation through Congress. Let's take a look.
Put a lid on his people. Is Khrushchev still in Egypt?
Yes, sir, and the Soviets had their first nuclear test at their new site in eastern Kazakh.
All right, talk to me, Hubert.
Well, the good news is we've got a deal with Dirksen.
And what's the bad news?
We're 2 votes short.
Bill! I was just thinking about you. Go on, take a ride with me. It's all right, boys. I think I'm safe with Senator Fulbright. I'll see you up on 3.
Many times in the videos you've watched, I talk about finding the right time and place for negotiation. And most of the time, I tell you, you should do this where the other side is feeling prepared and where the other side is ready. And I hold to that advice. There's something really beautiful about what the president does here, because in fact, Senator Fulbright is purposely trying to avoid the president. In fact, the reason why he goes into that senator's only elevator is to avoid the president, which is exactly why the president goes in, lets the door close, and now it's just him and the senator. Let's see what happens next.
Boy, oh boy, look at you. How you feeling?
Fine.
Well, listen, I need to talk to you about something.
Nice cufflinks, Mr. President.
What a great move, right? The president says, I want to talk to you about something. And what does Fulbright try to do? Change the topic, right? He doesn't want to talk about this legislation. He wants to get out of this elevator as quickly as possible. So, what do you do if you're Johnson? Let's see.
Well, you like these? Do you?
I do.
Well, then they are yours.
No, that's really not necessary.
Well, I'd do anything for you, Bill.
Let me just stop there, right? I mean, this is kind of funny, but now Fulbright is eating his own words. And this is why, from a lesson in negotiation, being authentic is always the way to go. Does Fulbright like these cufflinks? Probably not. But now he says he has, and so Johnson is using this as a way to invoke the reciprocity principle. You like them? I'm going to give them to you. Now you're going to owe me something, right? And to the degree that Fulbright is sincere, he should be grateful. And to the degree that he is BSing, he's been caught.
That old boy you put down for the federal bench. Well, it's a pretty tough sell for Humphrey's crowd, but if you were to support the Civil Rights Bill, they'll just grin and bear it.
Well, Mr. President, I'm not sure my constituents would approve.
Well,
What do you see Fulbright doing here, right? He's trying to agree with the president and create an imaginary bad cop, my constituents. This is a very skillful move, but also, again, lacks authenticity. Because in fact, Fulbright doesn't back the Civil Rights Bill either. So again, from a negotiation perspective, always being true about what your interest is, what your concern is. When you create fake reasons and the other side is a great negotiator, they will try to meet or answer the fake reason. And if it's a real reason, of course, the problem is solved. But if it's a fake reason, you're getting shown to be inauthentic again.
I understand that, but maybe you don't have to fight quite as hard as you might otherwise.
I don't think.
Or maybe when the vote comes up, you happen to be overseas visiting our troops. I'm sure Elizabeth would love Europe. You know she would.
What is so interesting here, right, is Johnson is saying, if it's your constituents, I could send you on some important trip to Europe so that you're not here for the vote. Then you'll have plausible deniability, but you'll be out of the way. But again, because Fulbright's actual interest is to vote against the bill, his lack of authenticity is finding him in a hard spot.
Good, like my wife. Here, look here. This is the seal of the presidency of the United States. There's only 2 cufflinks like this in the entire world, and you now own them both. I want you to wear them good health, Bill. And think about what I said, huh? You look good, Bill. I bet you dropped a few pounds, huh? I'm gonna need another set of those cufflinks.
Gotta love this, right? A few other moves here. First, the president does something that, from a negotiation perspective, can be quite successful. He says, these are 2 cufflinks. Oh, and there's only 2 of them. and you have them. So creating what is called a scarcity bias, making it seem like something, this is not just like, a little pin that I have a whole pile of back at the office. This is, there's two of them and you have them both. The other thing I think that the president does very nicely, and this is high risk. I think you obviously have to know a little bit about the person you're talking to. But the use of strategic flattery can actually be successful. In this case, as he's leaving the elevator, right, the president notices, you look great, it looks like you lost some weight. Now, for somebody who doesn't care about their health or their weight, you're like, oh, whatever, Mr. President, right? But in this sense, right, it's a way of saying, I appreciate you, I'm making you feel good, right? And I think this is one of the things that Johnson was known for. Yes, at times he twisted arms, but much more frequently, he was known for making people feel good, voting for what he wanted them to feel. Creating these conditions, these moments where people felt like they were getting the attention of the president. One of the things Lyndon Johnson was known for was calling up a congressman on his birthday. Remember, there are 535 congressmen, and he would call up every congressman on their birthday, wish them a happy birthday, lots of personal notes, lots of little gifts. All of these things in service of building a relationship, building a personal connection, setting up a sense of reciprocity. I'm giving you something that is high value, that is high status, and I'm hoping that will come back when the time comes and I can count on you. Okay, so thinking about your own life, I'd love to hear a story where someone's generosity, someone's remembering you and what was important to you, turned you from being reluctant to really wanting to say yes and build that relationship. Put that into the comments, and do me a favor. I hope at this point we're in a position where we built enough relationship that you really want to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and ring the bell so that I can continue to deliver for you on all sorts of negotiation videos and advice. Okay, pre-order now and keep watching. Click, click, click.